Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be talking about keys, constraints, subqueries, and also functions in SQL. We have two main types of keys that we'll be considering for this class. We have the primary keys and the foreign keys. When we talk about the primary keys, the primary keys is used to uniquely identify each row in a table so as to prevent duplicates. And there can be only one primary key per table, and the row that the primary key is uniquely identifying must not be null. It must not be null. So for example, let's say we have a student table. In a student table contains information about the students. So we can have the student ID column on that table. That student ID can be our primary key. It's going to make sure that each student have a unique identifier, because two students can have the same name, but they cannot have the same ID. Their ID has to be different so as to identify them uniquely. So for the purpose of this class, we'll be practicing with three data sets. One is going to contain information about students, one is going to contain available courses the student is taking, and another one is going to contain results of each student. I have two data sets created already. This is the results, or just a very short data set, and also the students data. So we are going to be creating the courses ourselves. But first of all, let's import the students and the results data sets into our PostgreSQL. So open your PG admin and open a query tool. So the first things first, we have to create the table. So starting with the students, we have ID, name, email, date of birth. By now you should know how to do this. So create table students. We have ID first, and that's integer. So like I said, for primary keys, once you want to anytime you want to create your primary key, you have to declare it while creating your table. So these students, now this is going to be our students, this is going to be our student ID. This is going to Where's the table? This is going to be our student ID 12345. So I can just name that ID and declare it as primary key. So that's going to be our primary key on this table. Then we have the next one is name, email, date of birth. Then the name we can declare that as varchar. The email is going to be varchar because it contains special characters like the @ symbol and also .com, that full stop. So it's going to be varchar, and we also have date of birth. That is going to be that is going to be dates. It's going to have data type dates because it's storing dates information. All right. Then let me refresh this and import. All right. Okay. So you can see here, this is data set that we've imported. This is it. We have the ID here. You can see picking underneath it. That's because we've declared it as a primary key on this table. So that is why it is here. So like I said, for primary keys, in a student's table, the ID of the students can be our primary key, making sure that they have unique identifier. So you can see now, this ID one, we can say okay, Tomisin has ID of one. That is like identifying her. That is going to be our identification number. the number one is going to be identification number, and for the remaining two. So let me just save this as student. Okay, then our second query, let's create a results table to store information on the student results. So create table results. Then this is the table. We have results ID, student ID, course ID, and the score. And as you can see, they are all integers apart from this score, which contains decimal numbers. So create table results. Then start with results ID, which is integer. We have student ID. Let me make it student ID, which is also integer, course ID, and the score. So now this score, you can see it contains decimal numbers, not integer unlike the rest. And you can see the decimal number is like to two decimal places. And in a school, whenever you take an exam, the highest you can ever get is an 100. It's going to be 100 over 100. You can't get 101, you can't get 150. So let's declare our score as decimal, and we are going to tell it the highest number that can enter this column is going to be five, like 5 digits. It's going to be the highest that can enter, and it's also going to be for two decimal places. So when we have 100.00, that's 5 digits already to two decimal places. So we are declaring that as decimal. So now for foreign key, let's this table is going to contain foreign. Okay, let me go into foreign keys. So for foreign keys establishes a relationship between tables by referencing the primary key of another table. It links rows between two tables, and a foreign key in one table refers to the primary key in a related table. So a foreign key on this our result table is going to refer to the primary key on the student table. So for example, in a results table, a student ID column can be a foreign key referencing the student table's ID, student ID, so as to track student results. Don't get confused. This is what I mean. So let's say I declare this as a foreign. Okay. All right. So you can see I'm declaring here that this student ID should be a foreign key. Foreign key, student ID. This is my foreign key on this result table. Referencing ID on the student table. Let's go back to our student table. This is our student table. This is our ID. And as you can see on this result table, you can see student ID here. You can see we also have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just as we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when we declare this as result table, we can say okay, the ID on our student we can see our student ID on our result table is referencing the ID on the student table. Let's show this. Oh, sorry. There should be a comma here. Right. So refresh tables. Okay, these are our results. And then imports, exports. I'm going to select results. Okay. All right. So now let's see how it looks like here. Select. All right. So you can see it here. All right. So you can see the.
David CSC mobile.
All right. Oh. All right. So you can see our data here. You can see result ID, student ID, course ID, and the score to two decimal places. Actually, nobody got up to 100 here. So this is the data set we successfully imported it. So let me save this as results. Okay. Now the third table I said is going to be the courses table. So I guess by now I've been able to explain the primary keys and the foreign keys. The primary key is just used to identify a particular way in the table so as to prevent duplicates. So like I said, students can have the same name but they can't have the same ID. That is why you are preventing duplicates. And a primary key is used to reference, sorry, a foreign key is used to reference the primary key in another table. So a foreign key on a table, on a particular table, a foreign key is used to is used to create relationship, establish a relationship between two tables. So it's going to reference foreign key in a particular table is going to reference the primary key of another table. So now, before we go into subqueries and SQL functions, let's just create our third table that we'll be using. That's going to be courses. Create table courses. We have, sorry, okay, on, I've not, so we are going to be creating this from scratch. So courses table, on our courses table we are going to have, I think, just the course ID, the name of the course that they are taking. I think that's it. So on our course table we're going to create course ID. That's going to be integer, and let's give it private key. And also we have the name of the course. Let's say course title. Yes, course title. That's going to be virtual. What again? I think that's all for our courses table. So let's run this. Alright. So we created it. So now let's insert into the table. Like I said, we are creating this from scratch. I don't have the data set. I want you to be familiar with this insert into function. So insert into the table courses. We are inserting into course ID, course title. So we are inserting these values. What is going to be our first course title? Let's say, don't just say 101. And what's the title of the course? That's, let's say mathematics, comma. Then another one, let's say 2. Let's say 11. Alright. 105. What should be a new course there? Let's say English. Let's just say chemistry. Okay. What's this? Then let's run this. Okay. Successful. So select everything from courses. Sounds success. Okay, so just very short, simple. So we have the course ID and the course title, as you can see. We have only one mark, 2, 2, 4, 5. Okay. So let's go into subqueries now. Subqueries and SQL functions. What is subqueries? Subqueries can also be called nested queries. They're also known as nested queries. A subquery is a query that is embedded inside another SQL query. It is a query inside a query. Yes. So it is used to return data that will be used by the main query, and it allows you to use the result of one query as an input in another query. So like I said, a subquery is a query inside a query. So let's say the main query has to retrieve information, and the information you want to retrieve is not on the table you are working with. Yeah, you've not joined your tables together, and the information you want to retrieve is not on the table you are working from. So you have to create another query inside your original query. You understand now? So let's take this example. Let's show records of students that scored above 80 in any course. The names, at least let's show the names of students that they scored above 80 in any of their courses. So let's go to our page admin. Let's go to our students table. Then okay, that scored above 80 in any course. So like I said, it's a query inside another query. So on the normal, let's write check. Let's just show records of students. That's going to be select. Okay, let's do the name and record of students. Let's say the name and email. Let's say the name and email from students, where now we want to select the name from the table students, but now they said that scored above 80 in any course, but their score is not on this table. We've not joined any table together. Their score is not on this table. That means their score is on the results, on this results table. This is where their score is. So how can we now get to this results table? So we have to create another query inside this original query. So where their ID, our ID is a primary key on this table, and on our results table we also have the ID here. Since this student ID, we've already said, is referencing the ID on this table. Do you understand? So where our ID on this table, we have to look for the ID on this table. Our ID on this student table, we have to look for it in our results table. So where the ID is in, then you now create another query inside this original query. So our ID is in the other table. So we have to select again. This is going to be another query inside this query. I should look like this. Okay. Right. So select student ID. No, on the other table it is student ID. We named it as. So we have to select student ID from our results table, where now they said people that scored above 80 in any course. So on our results table, where the score is greater than 80. I think I've taught you guys operators already. So where the score is greater than 80. So for anybody that has above 80, any of their course is supposed to bring out their results. It's supposed to bring out their records. I think this is correct. So let's run this. All right. So we can see Tomisin, Nofisat, Omolola, and James. We have those four students that had above 80 in any course. So let's confirm if this is correct or wrong. Let me select ideas so you'll be able to see the results. So okay, you can see now it's printing out the ID too. So we have just 1, 2, 4, 5. You can see is student ID number 3. The person at number 3 is the person that did not score above 80 at all. Let's check it in the students file. You can see Johnson Charles, the third person with ID 3, is the one that does not have above 80 in any of the scores. So let's go to the results table and confirm whether it's the only one. So you can see, let me use this one. So you can see, so you can see student ID 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is Johnson Charles. He had 59 in one course and he had 74 in another course. So he did not have above 80 at all. So let's confirm. Student ID one had above 18. We said in any course, we did not specify which course. So as long as she had above 18 in one of her courses, that's why her name was brought out. Student ID 2, he had 92 year in this course, so he also passed. Student ID 4 had she had 80 course, so that's above 18. Then student ID 5 had above 18 the two courses, as you can see. So now let's go back to our student table. So we can see now this is a query inside another query. We are selecting the ID. These are the columns we printed out: ID, name, and email from our student table, where this ID is on the second table. You know, it is a foreign key on this our table. We declared it as a foreign key. That our student ID on this table is referencing our ID on this original student table. So now we are saying where our ID is not on this second table. So we are telling you to go back to the second table and select the student ID from that table, from their results, where their score is greater than 80, where the student has scored greater than 80. So that is why we had this. So this is showing records of students that scored above 80 in any course. So let's take another example. Let's say we want to find let's say we want to find the course that has the highest score recorded. So this is going to be a bit complex than the subquery we did before. So let's say we want to find course that has the highest score. You know, yeah, let's say each of the students are taking two courses. These particular students took course 101 and 102. This one took 101 and 103. These students took 104 and 102. So they are all taking two courses. So I want to find out which course has the highest score that was recorded. So let's say, okay, what's the question? Find course that has the highest score recorded. Course that have the highest score recorded. All right. So as you can see on this table, we just have ID, name, email from students. It's actually a very simple subquery. So as for this, we want to find out the course that have the highest score. Which course did, let's say, had the highest score? I don't know how best to break that down. But I hope you understand the question. So that's going to be select. We want to select the course title. We have to show the course title from our course table. Let me write it in our course table since we are dealing with the course. Sorry. Okay, this is our cost table. Okay, so this is our course that you can see. We have just 5 courses here, and each of the students are taking two courses. So we are selecting the course title from this our table, this course table. We are dealing with this course table. From this course table, where the course ID, you can see also that the result is not here. The result is on this result table. We've not joined these tables together, so we have to go back and reference the result table where the course ID is in the other table. So that's going to be select. Okay, now you can see we have course ID here, we have course ID on this other table. On this other table, so it has to be for it for the PostgreSQL, this database DBMS, for it to know that we're actually talking about the course ID on results table. We have to give it an alias. So when we say select this course title from course where the course ID is in, let's give the course an alias. So when we talk about course, you can just say from course as C. We are telling it that, okay, don't let me give it an alias so you don't get confused. From course where course ID, so let's tell it that this course ID we are talking about here, it should take this column from this table course. So for we to say that, let's just say course dot. So when we say from course dot, so we are telling you that the course ID we are talking about here is on this table course in select on our results table. You know we have under course ID, so select results. Is it result or yeah, results dot. So on our results table we have course ID on that table too. So we are telling you that you now go back to that results table and also select the course ID on the results table from results R. So now we're telling it select our course title from this course table where the course ID is in the results table. So is in, then our subquery started. So we are telling it to now go to our results table, select the course ID on that results table from results table. So okay, I said we are not using alias again. From results, so where the results, the score on the result is what we are dealing with now. We want to know the highest one. Where results dot the score, go to the score. I don't want this to, okay, where results dot the score is equals to another subquery again. Select, we've discussed maximum, minimum and all that, so we have to select for you to know the highest score, that's the maximum. If you are talking about the lowest score, that's the minimum. So we have to select the maximum. We are looking for the highest score, so that's going to be maximum of the score from the table results. So I hope this is not too complicated. This is what we call a subquery. This is a query. This is a query. It is inside this other query, and these two queries are now inside this original query. Do you understand? So okay, let's run this. Okay, I created the table as courses, not course. Is that the only place? Okay. You can see there is a missing from course entry from table course. Select course title from courses where course. These are simple errors you can miss. If you name your table with something like course and you have s in front of it, that's the issue I'm having now. My table was, I named it as courses, not course. So, and yeah, I'm using course, so it does not recognize it. So I have to change it back to courses. All right. So you can see now that we have mathematics as the course. That's where people had the highest score. People pass mathematics. And what's mathematics ID? Okay, I selected only the ID course title. Let's select the course ID too, so you know the. Okay, now I selected the course ID too, so you know the course ID for the mathematics. Mathematics has course ID 101. It has course ID 101, and on our results table you can see 101 here, we have 101 here, we have 101 here, we have 101 here. Okay, that's all. So people that pass student ID one, she had score of 85 in mathematics, this one had 92 and this one had 45.50, and we are looking for where the highest score is. So overall, without looking at the course ID, we can see 80, 85, 92 is the highest here. Yeah, so you can see overall the highest score, the person that had the highest score out of all the students was this student with student ID 2, and it took course 101. So, and his score was 92, so he had the highest score out of every other person. So this is a subquery inside a query, inside a subquery inside the main query. So when we talk about, sorry, when we talk about subquery, this is what we mean. This is what we mean. This is what we refer to. So we are selecting, let me explain this. Let me explain this subquery now. This is, we are selecting the course ID and the course title from our course table. As you can see, select course ID and the course title from our courses table. Now, do you see why I put course ID, courses.course ID? Is because, let me select the original table for you to see. From courses. Okay, it's because you can see on our courses table, we have course ID and we have course title. And on our results table, we have course ID again. Unlike our students table where we did the first subquery, on our students table you can see we have ID, not student ID. We had ID here and we had student ID here that was referencing that one. But on this courses table, we have course ID, not ordinary ID. We have course ID here and we have course ID here again. So if I did not put courses.course ID and I just use course ID, comma, course title from courses, and I use course ID here again, it's going to be confused because it does not know where it's selecting the course ID from. So now me putting courses, I'm saying telling you go to my table courses dot. Now find course ID on this table courses and select it. Then here I'm now saying go to course ID on the results table also. That is exactly what I mean by putting it this way. So now I'm selecting these two columns, course ID and course title, from this table courses where the course ID on my table courses is in. Then I'll start another subquery for my second table. The course ID where my course ID on this table courses is in. Then I'll now go to this place, is in this table results. Now also select the course ID on it from my table results. This is just to tell it where to pick the course ID. I start with my from clause and the table there. Where the score, I will now talk about the score. Where the score is equals to, I'll have to now use this. So now me putting equals to here, I'm stating that I'm telling it that wherever the score is, I'm supposed to put a value here for the maximum, but I don't know the maximum yet. That's why I'm putting another subquery there to tell it that it should help me and look for the maximum score on that table results. Assuming I am on my results table and I have done something like select maximum of score, sorry, from results, and I run this. Okay, you can see it's giving me now on the results table. I can select the maximum score, and the maximum score is 92. Let's now say, since I already know that it is 92, that's the highest score, but I want to know which course was the score from. I can just come here and just put the 92 here then, since I already know that 92 was the highest, and I run it. You can see it's giving me the same answer, but because I have not run a query like that before and I don't know the highest score, I can just put it like this, that it should select the maximum score for me, since that's the exact same query I used here. You can see it's the exact same query, so that's why I use equals to. Wherever I have this direct match of maximum score, that's what it should give me. So moving on, we have a lot to cover. That's for subqueries. They are also known as nested queries. So let's talk about SQL functions. SQL functions, they are built-in functions that are used for either string manipulation, data and time handling, mathematical operations, and so on. So string functions, we have for string functions we have a lot of string functions actually, but for the purpose of this class, we'll be discussing just the functions. We have len is a function, then we're going to pass in a string. It is used to find out the length of a string, as you can see, len. It is used to find out the length of a string. So for example, when we pass in something, this len of hello is going to find out the length of the string, and as you can see the result is 5, because hello just has five words, 5 letters in it. So that's for the len. Then we have another one. We have concat. It's used to join two strings together when you want to bring them together to become one. So we are joining two strings together. For example, hello word. So an example is concat hello and word. You put the two strings together in the brackets, and it's going to join them together. As you can see, we have hello word together. We have upper is used to convert to uppercase, with lower is used to convert to lowercase, and substring is used to extract a substring. Is used to extract a substring. So let's practice some of these string functions. Let me write the code here. So let's say on the student table, so I want to find, let's practice the uppercase. We can just say select Let's say you want to turn the student's name to uppercase. Select upper of the name from students. As you can see, the student's name has been changed to uppercase. You can also do it for lower and just change it to lower. So let's say when you are cleaning your data or something and you have to like change the names to uppercase, it may not even be named, it may be something else. So you can just use it that upper or lower to do it easily. So okay, let me change it as string functions. So alright. So let's say what again? With practice upper, practice lower. Let's talk about substring. So substring is to extract a substring. So let's say we want to find out, as you can see, we have the name and the surname together. So let's say we want to separate them. We want to have the surname of the person and also the we want to have the surname of the person and also the first name of the student. We can say select, like I said, you use substring, you pass in the string and you tell it where to start and where to stop. So select substring, the name of the column is name, then start from, we count it, we have one, two, it's not going to be dark, it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, that's 7 comma 3. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and from our table now students, they all don't have the same length of name, so it won't work. Like I said, they don't have the same length of name, so it won't work. They have, it varies. So I guess the only person it worked for was James. You can see we have Tommy, Snowface, Child. It's not really that accurate, but like I said, it will extract the name of um it can extract a substring. So you can see the example I have here, database. I can do it for a particular column, a particular person, a particular name, but I can't do it for every other person because my name can be 10 characters long and someone else's name can be so long and be 20 characters long. So it won't be accurate for the remaining. So like I said here, you can see database. It started from the first one. So I'm telling you to extract. This is the starting point and this is the length. And it should move further places to the front. And you can see it extracted data when we did this. So let's move on to date functions. We have day, month, year, and now. So when we talk about day is we are talking about the day of the month. So when we use a query like this, like day of, and we pass in a date, it's going to extract the day out of that particular year, out of that date. It's going to extract the day. When we use month, it's going to extract the month. When we use year, it's going to extract the year. And when we use now is to find the current date and time. Okay, so moving on to numeric functions, we have abs, rounds, square roots, and power. So we have absolute value is to find the absolute value. When you have a negative value, when you use abs, it's going to convert it to a positive value. That's when you deal with maybe numerical or financial aspect. You can use that. We have round is to round up a number. You can see it's approximately this number. It is to 3 decimal places, but when we put this to advance, it's approximated to just 2 decimal places. We have square roots to find the square root of a number. We have power. when you want to find like x raised to the power of y, like 2 raised to the power of 3, and it's going to give you 8. So these are the functions. These are how you are going to like pass them. We also have, okay, now moving on, how to modify table using the alter table and the drop table. So let's say alter table is used to add, you want to remove a column, you want to add a column, or you want to modify a column in an existing table. You've created your table already. You now realize that, oh, I skipped, okay, let me use students. Okay, this is our students table. It contains ID, name, email, and date of birth. We now realized, oh, we skipped one. Oh, we do not have a gender column. We are supposed to know who is a guy, who is a girl out of all these people. Let's say we want to even add age. Let's say we want to add age column to this. We can just come to our picture admin here, and let's say we want to, using alter table, we want to add um age column, age of the students. So we can just use our alter is used to add, remove, or modify existing column in an existing table. So for us to add this age column, we use the alter command, and this is the syntax for it. Alter table, then what's the name of the table? That's students. Then we want to add age column, like I said, add age. Very simple. Then when you created your table, you know you gave it a data type. So add age. What's the data type for this? Let's say integer. Your age can always be integer, can only be integer actually. So add age. Run this. Okay, you can see query returned successfully. So by the time we now select everything from students, all right, so you can see now we have age, but it is not, because we've not imputed anything into it. That is why it is this way. So that is how you can, this is a perfect example. We've been able to add age column using the alter command. So let's also say you remember, okay, we added age. Let's say we want to remove this email. We want to remove the email column. Okay, before we go into that, let's look at the drop table. The drop table is used to delete a table and all of its data from the database. Note, you know, we've discussed the table, we've discussed the delete statement already, the delete command. Drop is different from delete. Delete is for you to just delete something, but drop, when you use drop, once you drop a table, it's permanent. That's the end. It's used to delete it permanently. Once you drop a table, you've lost all the contents of that table already. So let's say you want to drop, okay, I think I'm not using this courses table again. Let me show you how it is. The syntax for using the drop command, let's say drop, very straightforward, drop table courses. If I run this, you can see query return successfully. And if I refresh this, I'm not seeing courses again. Let's say I want to select my courses. Let me see if it's going to bring anything out from courses. You can see relation courses does not exist. It does not exist. It does not recognize the table again because we've already dropped it. So you can't find it again. So as you can see, let's use drop. Let me show you a very productive way you can still use this drop command, this drop table command. Let me show you how you can still use it. Let's say this email column is no longer needed and you want to drop email column. Let's say you want to delete it. So you can use the alter and the drop command together. Let's say alter table students. and drop. Alter is we are telling it, oh, we want to make changes to this table. Alter it, we want to make changes to it. Then this is what I want you to do. Just like this, please. We want to make changes to this student table and we want to add this new column age with data type integer. Very simple. So now we are telling it to drop. We have to use column. It's a column. We have to state it that, oh, it is a column, and I want you to drop it for me. So alter this table students and drop column email. So when we run this, you can see query returned successfully. So when we now select everything from students for us to see our students table, you can see there is no email again. We only have ID, name, date of birth, and the age that we added. So that is it about that. So just make sure that once you drop a table, you are very sure you don't need it anymore. Or if it is a column you want to drop, just follow this syntax and drop it. Alter a table and then drop that particular column. So we've come to the end of this class and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section and to be well attended to. Have a nice day.